so hard. Mari, how do you solve for this?
You just add everything.
Is your conversion correct?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, I need to eat. I'm so hungry.
Hey, what happened to your hand?
I don't know. You know what? When I was a kid, I was diagnosed with congenital insensitivity to pain. So, even if I hurt myself, I cannot feel anything.
Oh, really? That's my first time to hear that.
It's very rare.
That's why.
Please don't tell anyone.
Don't hurt yourself anymore.
What if pain, the thing that we try hardest to protect ourselves from, what if that is the thing we needed the most? A while ago, it was shown that a girl cut herself, but instead of feeling pain, she felt nothing at all. The girl has a condition known as congenital insensitivity to pain, also termed congenital pain indifference. This is a rare condition where a person cannot feel and never felt physical pain. So, there are two types of congenital insensitivity to pain. First is insensitivity to pain itself, and second is indifference to pain. Let's give a brief description of insensitivity to pain. This means that the painful stimulus is not even perceived, so the patient cannot describe the intensity or type of pain. Second is indifference to pain. This means that the patient can perceive the stimulus, but he or she lacks an appropriate response, so he or she will not withdraw when exposed to pain.
Broken legs going unrecognized, feet getting cut without notice, and lips being chew toy are only a few dangers of having congenital insensitivity to pain with anhidrosis, or CIPA. So, congenital insensitivity to pain with anhidrosis is an autosomal recessive disorder, which means that for someone to get CIPA, he must receive a copy of the gene from both parents. Each of those parents must have a mutation on autosomal chromosome, the chromosomes that aren't related to gender. CIPA affects the type 1 tyrosine kinase receptor protein. It is located on chromosome 1 Q21 to Q22. It is an autosomal recessive trait, which means that people can't be carriers of this disease without being affected by it. This disease is present from birth, but it is usually noticed in children because of indifference to pain or even self-mutilation. While not feeling pain may seem like a great thing, this disease can cause serious injuries. Most people who have it die at an early age because they suffer from severe injuries that go unnoticed for a long enough time that they will eventually die. Your peripheral nerves are important to feeling pain. They end in receptors that sense touch, pressure, and temperature. Some of them end in nociceptors, which sense pain. Nociceptors send pain messages in electrical impulses along the peripheral nerves, which then travel through the spine and then to the brain. Nociceptor axons are usually unmyelinated, which means that they are slow. Myelin is an insulating sheet that forms around nerves and helps with impulse conduction. The more myelin, the faster the message. The axons that carry the pain messages from the nociceptors can be either myelinated or unmyelinated, which means that pain messages can travel quickly or slowly. This process does not happen for people with congenital insensitivity to pain with anhidrosis. Some studies have shown a decrease or absence of nerve fibers, both unmyelinated and myelinated. With those nerve fibers, the body and brain cannot communicate. Pain messages don't make it to the brain because no one is sending them. So people with CIPA are also missing a nerve supply in the epidermis and the eccrine sweat glands. So because there are no nerves in the skin and sweat glands, there is no way for the body and the brain to communicate with one another, resulting to anhidrosis.
First in this half hour, an inspiring story about a young girl with a condition so rare that No one, not even experts, know how many people it affects. It's known as CIPA, the inability to feel any physical pain. And that 12-year-old girl is using her diagnosis to make a difference. GMA special contributor Cameron Matheson had a chance to spend some time with her. Here's her story.
The thing that parents try hardest to protect their children from. What if that was the thing your child needed most?
Everyone's like, oh, what a good baby you have. But as time went on, the red flags started going up.
From the moment she was born, Ashlyn Blocker didn't cry when she was hungry or had diaper rash, or even when, at just 8 months old, her parents took her to the eye doctor.
When they put the dye in her eye, everyone just kind of gasped. She had a big corneal abrasion across her eye. They were astonished she wasn't in pain.
It was then her parents got the shocking, devastating news. Their baby couldn't feel any pain.
It was scary because, there weren't very many good outcomes that were involved with this condition. People passing away from appendicitis because they didn't have the warning signs, and bone infections.
I understand that the toddler years were some of the worst, where she would continue to injure herself.
Yeah, the biting, her burning her hands, different things. Tara actually would wrap her hands up with athletic tape. She'd be our little boxer.
Photo after photo document injuries that pained her parents, but not their little girl. What is it like for you to send her out the door every day, knowing what can happen without you there to watch?
It was rough at first.
A medical mystery that for Ashlyn, now 12, I love this room.
Thank you.
I love the color. Is just a normal part of life. How would you describe to somebody like me what it feels like to not have any pain?
It's just me. It's all I ever known.
You tell me which finger you feel it on, okay? That finger, okay?
Hoping to learn more about this rare condition, researchers at the University of Florida have been testing Ashlyn since 2004. And a few years ago, were able to pinpoint the exact gene that affects how strongly pain signals are sent to the brain. Findings that may one day lead to new pain treatments.
There's a reason for everything, and Ashlyn's here for a reason.
But for today, Ashlyn, just a normal 12-year-old girl who loves pageants and playing in the school band. Woo! And crocheting. It's turned into a fundraising tool for an astonishing family project. All of these you're going to sell, you're going to raise money for the camp.
Yep. Ashlyn had a dream one night that we started a camp for families like us. I knew instantly what I was meant to do.
That dream became reality this past November when the family started Camp Painless But Hopeful and hosted 8 families also dealing with this incredibly rare condition. What was it like to see Ashlyn associating, having fun, playing with other kids?
It was like
It was an amazing, unforgettable time for sure. I mean, to actually be in a room and presence of someone who knows what we've been through. I mean, know your daily life, your daily struggles, and to know you're not alone anymore. I mean, it was just amazing.
Cue the music, please.
Yeah.
Maestro. In exchange for my crochet lessons, Ashlyn made me go back to my Dancing with the Stars days and teach her a waltz.
That's it, you're doing it.
A special moment with a remarkable young girl that I will never forget.
You should be on Dancing with the Stars.
When you daydream about the future, what does that look like now for Ashlyn?
I think it's going to hold everything she wants it to.
Hereditary sensory and autonomic neuropathy type 4, also known as congenital insensitivity to pain, is characterized by a congenital profound sensory loss affecting perception of pain, temperature, and absence of sweating. Treatment for this disorder are based on the manifestations such as hyperthermia, orthopedic problems, behaviors such as irritability and hyperactivity, and lastly, self-mutilation. Febrile spikes responds to use of ibuprofen and acetaminophen or direct cooling in a bath or cooling blanket. Braces may be required on the ankle to prevent injury to weight-bearing joints. Some children may be required for smoothing or extracting of teeth to prevent self-mutilation of the tongue and lips causing by rubbing and chewing. Lastly, irritability and hyperactivity may be associated with pharmacologic treatments such as antipsychotic or ADH medication. ADH means Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder medications. This is Glycerin Madriaga reporting.